Hello everybody, welcome back to ManBunBooks. I have got the hair down again today, well, kind of down. Tank top's going again because once again today we are talking about the band series by Nicholaseames and Bloodyrose. Book 2 of the band series and the last book that's out right now. This is a reread for me, and the first bit is going to be spoiler free. I won't talk about anything that happens really plot wise in the book or go too much in depth. So as we already discussed in my Kings of the Wild video, which if you haven't seen, go check it out. That's book 1. Nicholaseames has made a world where there are monster hunting mercenary bands based on rock bands. Kings of the Wild was kind of 60s, 70s kind of era stuff. Bloodyrose kind of goes into the 80s. So you have a lot of inspiration from like Guns N' Roses and Def Leppard and all of these big, like, the big rock bands from the 80s where it was all about the party lifestyle, the live fast, die young, like that kind of thing. And he encapsulates the era of those bands really well in this book. I like Bloodyrose a lot. And this character right here on the front with the red hair is Bloodyrose. She is the daughter of Golden Gabe from book 1. She is the daughter of one of Saga's frontman. She has her own band named Fable. And in this book, you follow a young girl named Tam who lives in a small village with her father and wants nothing more than to leave her little village life and go be a big hero in a band like Bloodyrose. That's kind of the plot of this. That's kind of the pitch for this. This book has a lot of heart. There's a lot more in-depth like character stuff in here. Basically the members of Fable that you need to know before going in are Bloodyrose, the leader, greatest mercenary in all the land. You have Free Cloud, who's a druid. They're basically these people that are kind of like they're like humans kind of, but they're these ancient peoples. They have ears like rabbits, and they have the prescience, so they can like see things like moments before they happen, so they're hard to surprise and all this stuff. You have Bruin, who is a shaman. He's a big dude who can kind of shapeshift into like animals and stuff. He can shapeshift into a big bear. You have Kira, who is an ink witch. I will not talk about her at all except in the spoilers later because she's fascinating, and you kind of have to experience Kira for yourself. This book has a lot of heart. It is very emotional. I like it a lot. This is one of the best coming of age stories that I've ever read, in my opinion. And kind of the small town, character leaving the village and going on a big adventure. You've seen that a million times in fantasy. I really love how it's done in this book. It's really, really, really worth your time. Kings of the Wild is fantastic. I love that book. Bloodyrose is just that much better. Nicholaseames is incredible. His prose is great. It's so funny and witty and sharp and snappy, but he really takes the time in this book with the characters, and you really get into their heads and their emotions, and there's some really, really nice moments in this book. So check it out. Bloodyrose by Nicholaseames. I want to talk about some spoilers now, so spoiler warning if you haven't read it. I'm not a beat by beat of the book. This is not in any means a recap of any kind. This is just a couple of things that stood out to me that I want to talk about, that if I do, are going to spoil the book for you. So ye be warned, spoilers abound. Okay, Tam and Kira. I love their dynamic and their relationship. Tam is attracted to Kira almost immediately and wants to, be with her in every way. Kira is an ink witch. This girl right here on the cover. And basically Nicholaseames has come up with this witch, which like she's an ink witch, so she has tattoos all over her body, and each of her tattoos are like a different trauma that she's experienced in her life. So when she screams their name of the trauma in the battle, they rip the tattoos, rip off of her flesh and take form and will like fight for her. It's crazy. I have never read anything like this before. The idea is just bonkers, and Kira is a fascinating character because you can tell she has deep trauma and works through a lot of stuff with alcohol and sex and all kinds of stuff. She's a fascinating character, and I love the dynamic between her and Tam at the end when they're fighting the Brumal Horde, and Astra, who is basically this widow druid, who's like, or the Winter Mother, or whatever her name is, I can't remember. She has a lot of names. One of the mercenaries is like, is it Astra or whatever the fuck we're calling her now? It's really funny. But she basically is a necromancer, and she has revived all of these dead things to go fight for her. So there's this giant horde of like undead, like, things. And Kira just like stands there screaming her traumas one after another. They're ripping off of her flesh, and she's like giving them up as she's screaming their names. Crazy stuff, and it was really good. Tam, the main character, her coming of age story is really, really nice. I love how you really sit there and experience the band with her and experience what she's experiencing. Nicholaseames really pulls you into her head, and you really feel like you've gone on this adventure with her. You've gone on this journey with her. You've experienced all this stuff, and you've grow up with her in a way. I really, really enjoyed that. Her song at the end when they're all trapped in the city, and she sings her mother's song, which is a really sad song. And Moog throws some magic on the fire to make her voice amplified throughout the entire city, and she sings, and the entire city, it like reverberates in the whole city, and everyone sings with her. That was so powerful, so moving. I cried. It was an incredible moment. I also love Rose and Free Cloud are lovers, and they have a daughter named Ren. Free Cloud's the druid, and I love in the middle of the battle, this is kind of stuff Nicholaseames just does well, where at the end in the battle they're fighting, and they're running towards each other in the battle, just slicing through people as they're coming to each other. It's like a movie. Then they get together, and it's like this, like, she slices, kills something, he slices, kills something, and then throws his sword down and grabs her and dips her to kiss her. And dipping her, he like ducks an animal which flies over his head, and she sticks her foot out, which trips a monster and impales somebody else with the monster, like as they're kissing. Like, it's just those kinds of goofy, like cinematic things that make this book so fun. The little small character moments with Bruin and his whole thing with his dad and his village, and facing his dad and realizing he's the wolf and not the bear. That was so awesome. Bruin is fantastic. Yeah, I love at the end of this book where they say that Bloodyrose kind of died. Like, Rose kind of chooses to go back and be with her daughter and to have a family. Free Cloud's death was brutal, and being back with her daughter and being a mom, leaving the mercenary life behind her, was really powerful. I thought that was really cool. Anyway, excellent series, excellent book. I'm really glad I decided to reread these because it's been too long. I do like to reread a lot, and it was nice to get back with these characters again. It's every bit as good as I remember. It might even be better on a second read. So anyway, Bloodyrose, the band series by Nicholaseames. Check it out. It's fantastic. As always, be kind to each other.